hello for part 2 here at the Lansing Home Showroom. I appreciate you guys tuning back in from the video I shot with Kevin O'Donoghue last week. I am here with Jennifer Mitchell.
Hello.
Appreciate your time as well for coming out here and trying to educate all the viewers out there about windows today. And tell them a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in business, what's your job title here at Lansing?
Well, I've been in the window and door business for 25 years. My family had owned a window and door company, and they retired last year. So I came to Lansing for a few reasons. The main reason is they're a locally owned family business.
Yep.
And coming from that background, I can really appreciate it. The other thing I really like is that their showroom is very accessible. It's on Lincoln Avenue. It's very handy. It's easy to get in. It's easy to get out. And it makes it easier for people on their lunch hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in the business again?
25 years. I've been around a while.
It's a long time.
It is a long time.
So you're going to teach us a little bit about windows. What windows do you offer? Specifically, I think we're going to focus on like when homeowners, they aren't aware of how I guess simple it can be by using you guys to replace windows and so on and so forth. They feel like it's more of a humongous task than probably what it really is, right?
Right. Well, we have our own in-house installer who has over 30 years experience, and I'm going to brag on him because he is fantastic. But there's different options that you can use, and most people don't realize that it's not as big of a deal and it's not as big of an undertaking as what they think it is. Because when they think about replacing their windows, they're like, oh my gosh, we have to replace the entire opening. The cats are gonna jump out the windows, the weather's gotta be perfect. It doesn't necessarily have to be that way.
Yeah.
A lot of times when your frames are in good shape, we can do what's called a pocket replacement, and we can use the existing frame, which means a lot of times we don't have to replace the trim, so that doesn't have to be restained or repainted. We can just fit it right in, insulate it, and then wrap it with aluminum on the outside. So you can't tell that you don't have an entirely new frame in a window, you just know that you have new windows. Now, there's times when there's termite damage or wood rot that you don't see until you get into the tearing
I'm sure that's
phase.
pretty common.
It's very common.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what's really common with front entry doors? When we go to replace front entry doors, people don't realize underneath their sill there's water's gotten in there. So probably 7 times out of 10 we have to replace the subflooring underneath there. But that's not one of those things you know until you start tearing out.
Yeah.
You know.
So what kind of window we got here?
This is a Marvin aluminum clad casement. There are basically 3 different options that we carry here. An aluminum clad wood window, which is an all wood window with aluminum on the exterior for protection, so you never have to maintain it. You don't have to paint it. You don't have to. You just squirt and wipe to clean it off.
Music to my ears.
How handy is that? And then it's wood on the inside, so you can stain it. If you're replacing windows that are existing that are stained, you can do the same thing.
Yeah, we can match that look if that's what you like.
Yes, absolutely. And then we also carry a fiberglass window, which is made by Marvin. It's called Integrity. And then we also have a vinyl window by Quaker. There's a lot of people who have a bad taste in their mouth about wood. Because 20 years ago, 25 years ago, they did what was called boot glazing, which was the greatest technology at the time. And there was a bead that went around the glass. And they thought, oh, this is homeowner friendly. If you break a piece of glass, it's so easy, you can just unscrew the sash yourself. If you know how to use a screwdriver, you can do this, which is great, but over time it breaks down. Well, if you've bought those wood windows then, no, you don't want wood now because you've had rotting because it, like I said, it breaks down and causes rot. So a lot of people switch to vinyl or fiberglass for that reason. Now, with the aluminum clad wood today, most of them have at least a 20-year wood rot warranty. So you're not going to have that challenge. And they're made differently now. They're wet glazed. It's a little different, the process that you go through.
Yeah.
So, and this one has it's what's called a simulated divided line. Now, this is one window, but it's a combination SDL where it's got a wider bar and a skinnier bar because it makes it look like a double hung, which a double hung slides up and down.
Yeah.
And a casement cranks out.
Yeah, and this is just one
And
solid.
it's just, yes, but because of this wider.
Makes it look.
Yes.
Yeah, it gives it that look.
That's exactly right. So
Yeah.
for the ease and maintenance of having the casement window, because the casement window is a little more energy efficient than a double hung just because of how it operates.
Okay.
It completely slides back into the frame. There's less possibility of air infiltration. With a double hung that slides up and down, there's a lot more mechanical things that can
A lot
break
more moving
down.
parts and
Yes.
more areas to
Absolutely.
where the weather could affect the window and start
You can get more
damaging
leaking at
things.
the check rail where
Yeah.
the center, the
Yep.
top and the bottom meet, or in the sides or in the top corners.
Yeah.
This basically closes like a door. you know, because when it comes, it hits that frame and there's weather stripping all the way around. So you don't have to worry
that's
about.
awesome.
I know. And I personally am a big fan of casements just because I like the aesthetics of them. I like that they're taller, they're a little bit narrower. And they don't work for every house, you know, but they fit for most.
Is this pretty popular, like whether it be with new construction or with homeowners wanting to replace windows?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. I mean, the market, it goes back and forth. You know, what was popular 50
Yeah.
years ago is back today.
Yeah.
You know, it
Yeah.
really is. So
Yeah.
it just depends on the style. There's a lot of times, now you can't really take a casement window and put it in a double hung frame to use it in a pocket. You would have to, in that instance, you would have to take a frame and all and tear everything out.
Okay.
Which is still not that big of a deal. You know, if you're going to replace one window, if he had to do it, our installer had to do a total tear out, it'd probably take, you know, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. It's not that overwhelming, and it's not as expensive as people think too.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the other thing I think is kind of a myth. People are very intimidated by price. Well, this is probably one of the more expensive brands that we carry, and it's kind of like it's Rolls Royce. You know, and then you've got your Cadillac, and then you've got your just regular family Toyota.
Yeah.
You know, so we
Yeah.
have a good, better, best, and I think especially with a lot of the different staff members here, we're really good about accommodating the look and the value for your dollars spent. So there's lots of different just options.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, one of the number one things that home buyers ask me when we go look at a home is, and especially, I mean, granted, it's an older home. If we're looking at an older home, have the windows been replaced? Are they original windows? Are they vinyl windows? And it's a big deal to home buyers out there. It really is.
Oh, it's a huge selling point.
And it's one of the biggest, another one of your larger ROIs, return on investments, that you can do for a remodeling project of your home for resale value.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Because you don't drive by a house, and that's one of the things when I was listening to you talk to Kevin, your front entry door is your focal point. That's the most important part of your house.
and there's so many homes that have
And
the
it's-
garage doors too.
yes.
And I mean, just
And
anything.
it's so easy to
on the
change
front.
it out, and it's not that expensive.
Curb appeal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Heck, I've changed my door 3 times, and we're not moving. But I just
No
you
wonder
know,
they hired you.
I know, but it's one of those things where trends change, styles change, and to stay on top of maintaining that, I'm just let's do it.
So, as far as energy efficiencies, are there any other windows? Like, I know there's a window here behind you.
This one is one of the vinyl windows. A wood window is going to be more energy efficient than a vinyl because it's solid wood. Now,
Sure.
not to say that a vinyl window is not as good. It's just different because it's hollow, but it's filled with like a foam insulation, so
Yeah.
that you get a little more noise with vinyl than you would with a solid wood window. But that just makes sense, you
Sure.
know. And a lot of times, I know personally, the very first house I ever bought, I did wood windows because I thought I'm never gonna move, right? Moved 2 years later.
Yeah.
I never got my
Life
money
happens.
back out of it.
Yeah,
Well,
life
yes,
happens.
Yes. So since, you know, I've had 5 or 6 different homes since then, and I've always used vinyl because there's no maintenance. Okay.
Yeah.
They're easy. You don't have to paint them. Oh, it turns.
it turns,
This way.
I was gonna say, I don't wanna flip it over.
This is the inside, and this is what I was saying is a casement window. I'll unlock that, and if you wanna turn that one,
Sure.
try it out for yourself. It's very
Yeah.
easy to maneuver.
That's really smooth.
It is smooth.
Really
yes.
smooth. And I'm assuming, you know, it seems like the vinyl windows are your most popular as far
Yeah,
as.
well, because they're the most cost effective, and
Right. Exactly.
they've come along in so many ways. Aside from energy efficiency, they're so much better than they used to be. But aesthetics, they do a lot more options. You know, there used to be it used to just be a box. Now you can do half rounds and radiuses. There's some lines that even make radius operating casements, which is round at the top, and
Nice.
it opens just like that.
Nice.
You know, so that it's like technology always advances and
Yep.
improves. You
Yep.
know, it really does.
Yep.
So, and Quaker actually is one of the few companies, that vinyl sliding door that Kevin was showing you
Yeah.
with the blinds,
Mhm.
most companies only have one size or 2 sizes if you're lucky. They have what is called a retro size, which is an older home style. It's a little bit narrower, it's a little bit shorter, and then they have a true size, like for taller people that are current, you know, for new construction, that kind of thing.
Tall like Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely. And Quaker makes all different sizes.
Yeah.
With so they've got a lot more versatility than some of the other vinyl companies.
That's awesome.
You know, it is. It really is.
That's awesome.
So,
I know. It's a no-brainer. I mean, if you need windows, I mean,
right.
I mean, just get it done. I mean, as far as energy savings now, I know there's a lot of there's a lot of energy savings, different energy savings options, I guess,
Yes.
out there just in the glass
Yes.
of the windows.
Absolutely. Most of the time, clear glass, nobody buys clear glass anymore because there's zero energy efficiency value. You know, so usually you get some kind of a low E or a low E with argon. There's all different options, and they're all
Or they're
different
filled with
prices.
argon.
Yes.
Filled with argon gas.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, you know.
Yeah.
You've done your homework. Good for you. So there's lots of different options from that aspect. But if you've got a home that has got single glazed glass, like single pane glass,
Yeah.
you have got
Got to
to
change them
replace-
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my parents had single pane, and every year we used to roll out Visqueen, clear Visqueen, and duct tape it around there, even
I mean, it's
with
like a-
storm windows on it, because it
Yeah.
was
So cold.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's when I was. I mean, many years ago.
Yeah.
Today, those are the same houses. The upgrade is so worth it, just from the energy savings. Aside from the aesthetics, it'll look so much nicer, and it'll bring your house up to date and more modern. The money you save it can be a lot depending on the situation.
Yeah.
So
Well, Jennifer, I really appreciate your time. As you
Thank
can
you.
tell, she's very knowledgeable. You got to come check these guys out. I mean, you do. The showroom here is just immaculate. A lot of cool options. Maybe if I'm lucky, I can talk them into maybe doing another one next time and show some of the cabinets and kitchen stuff
that's
that
not
they
my
can
department,
do.
but our cabinet girls are fantastic.
Well, I'll have to talk to the cabinet lady because I think it would be another good video for you guys. And by all means, I'd love it if you guys like and share my stuff out there. And I appreciate Spencer Boyle with Spencer Boyle Media doing the video. He's always behind the camera for me as much as he can be. So until next time, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Thanks.